This game has felt different since before the kickoff. The Steelers come in with an offense stuck in neutral. The Ravens show up banged up, but with Derrick Henry running through defenders at the peak of the season, and Lamar trying to flip the switch after weeks of pressure. It's the kind of matchup where one single play can swing everything in the AFC North. And what really cranks up the tension is how this mix of power on the ground and pressure from both sides can turn the game into something totally unpredictable. If either team finds a rhythm early, everything tilts instantly. That's why this matchup feels so fun, so intense, and so unpredictable. One of those stories you can only fully understand if you stay locked in until the end. This Ravens-Steelers game comes with a weight you can feel before anyone even takes the field. Baltimore is still chewing on last week's loss and walks into this one trying to show they're still in control of the AFC North. Playing at home in December adds another layer, and you can sense that this matchup carries that now it's time to respond energy. It feels like this team knows exactly what it needs to prove. On the other side, Pittsburgh arrives in a tough spot with an offense that hasn't found rhythm in weeks. They're missing explosiveness, missing precision, and missing that one play that flips a game. And when you put that up against a disciplined, confident secondary, the challenge grows fast to the visitors. It's the kind of setup where every little detail becomes a bigger problem. What really shifts the mood for Baltimore is the run game. Derrick Henry is in his strongest stretch of the season, and he's facing a Steelers defense that's been struggling badly against the run recently. It's the kind of combination that lets Baltimore control tempo, rhythm, and physicality. Exactly what you need when a matchup promises to be heavy from start to finish. And when a team dominates a ground game, they usually dictate everything that happens afterward. Even in a rivalry that always hangs thick in the air, Baltimore feels more organized right now, with a clearer identity. That stability gives them a direct path toward building a win, even if it's a close one. And because of that contrast, the attention naturally shifts toward the issue that is Pittsburgh so vulnerable. The stuck offense that sets the tone for the next topic. Pittsburgh's biggest problem is something everyone can see. The offense just doesn't work. They've gone weeks without hitting a single deep shot, and that limits everything they try to do. When an offense can't scare a defense, it becomes predictable, and that makes even the simplest plays feel like an uphill climb. This lack of explosiveness makes Baltimore's defense even more comfortable playing the way they want. The secondary has been locked in and minimizing mistakes, and facing an offense that's stuck only boosts their confidence. In big games, confidence becomes fuel. It helps players take calculated risks and control the pace exactly how they want. The situation gets even heavier for Pittsburgh because when you can't throw deep, your run game ends up carrying a load it can't really handle. Against an aggressive defense like Baltimore's, that turns into a major problem fast. Pressure spikes, the margin for error shrinks, and the game starts slipping away. And as the Steelers' offense continues to stall, the focus naturally shifts to the group that can actually take advantage of this weakness, the Ravens' offense. Especially because there's one specific part of Baltimore's attack they've been trying to unlock for weeks, and that's exactly where the next topic goes. Lamar Jackson steps into this game with some pressure building. He hasn't thrown a touchdown since November 9th, and every week without breaking that streak makes the conversation louder. Even so, his return to practice and Todd Monken's confident tone point things in a more positive direction, showing he's physically ready to answer the moment. In recent games, even without the same spark, Lamar has shown flashes of his more aggressive style. Faster movement, firmer decisions, and a few throws placed exactly where they needed to be. When those signs show up, even in losses, you can feel something shifting, like he's setting the stage for a stronger performance. The biggest thing now is turning those small steps into real results. Baltimore needs a more complete offense, and that starts with Lamar finishing drives and ending the touchdown drought. When the quarterback finds his rhythm, the whole team rises with him, and that completely changes the dynamic of their games. And this matchup, packed stadium, heavy rivalry, high stakes, has the exact feel of a game where a quarterback flips that internal switch. Especially because if Lamar does find that rhythm again, he'll join the one element that has carried the Ravens over the last few weeks, and that takes center stage.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Derrick Henry enters this matchup playing his best football of the season. The way he's running, lowering his shoulder, breaking tackles, setting a tone, changes how Baltimore builds its entire offense. And when he faces a defense that's been the fourth worst against the run over the last 3 weeks, the setup becomes even more favorable for the home team. When Henry starts picking up yards consistently, the opposing defense has no choice but to load the box. That opens a deep part of the field, takes pressure off Lamar, and turns Baltimore's offense into something much tougher to contain. That kind of balance is exactly what separates teams that adjust quickly from teams that get stuck repeating the same mistakes. And when you control the ground game, you control the clock. And in a divisional game, controlling the clock usually decides everything. It keeps your defense fresh, sets your tempo, and drags the opponent out of their comfort zone. Baltimore knows that, which is why Henry becomes such a crucial piece of the plan. And that combination, power on the ground paired with the threat of explosive plays through the air, creates the exact contrast shaping the mood of this matchup. Because while Baltimore seems to be finding a clear path, the Steelers are dealing with the opposite. Instability that puts even more weight on every snap. That's the perfect setup. This game carries a different energy because both teams coming off tough losses. Baltimore still feels the sting from Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh is trying to figure out how everything unraveled so quickly. That creates a matchup full of urgency, with a team that makes fewer mistakes and controls the clock walks away with more than just another win. The Steelers have lost 5 of their last 7, and that puts them right on the emotional edge. Every play feels like a decision. Every mistake hits twice as hard. And when a rival walks and is fragile, it's natural for the other side to try to take control early, before Pittsburgh builds any confidence. Baltimore knows this and will try to impose its rhythm through the run game from the opening snap. At the same time, the Ravens need to prove something to themselves. The last few weeks brought instability, missed get-right opportunities, and the sense of a team still searching for its best version. But with a healthy Lamar, a dominant Henry, and a disciplined defense, this game feels like the ideal moment for a response. And if that response comes, it can shift the division again. A firm win over the biggest rival doesn't just stabilize the locker room. It puts Baltimore back on top of the AFC North with authority. Exactly the kind of result that can set the tone for the next stretch and open the door for something even bigger. This game ties together everything that defined the week. A Steelers offense stuck for nearly a month, a Ravens team trying to regroup after their most frustrating loss of the season, and a run game powered by Derrick Henry heating up right when Pittsburgh starts cracking. Add to that Lamar's shot to break his touchdown drought and restore balance to the attack, and a defense ready to apply pressure from the first snap. Do you think Baltimore capitalizes on this moment to take back control of the AFC North? If the team turns this plan into execution, the outcome can reshape confidence, posture, and momentum for the weeks ahead. A complete performance puts Baltimore back in a commanding spot in the division and sends a clear message to the rest of the conference. Even a gritty win with personality resets the mood and gets the team back on track. This is the kind of game that shapes the narrative, shifts expectations, and reveals who's ready to carry the weight of the season's biggest moments.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.